okay, if you are going to private sector, so I'm going to start with this, and you have the chance to speak up, you should speak. First rule. So wherever you are, and then, you know, a famous filmmaker, Woody Allen, so he said that everything starts just by showing up. Yeah? Showing up is 80% of many of the things you do. So if you have time and the chance to say something, you just have to say it. Because this is something that people will remind you, and also you will make a case, and you will make a contribution for your colleagues and your classmates. Yeah? So I expect today we can have this conversation, because that will be something interesting. Yeah? So why we are talking about industrial policies in business school? So can you tell me if this is important, or this is something that is accessory, or so why industrial policies in business school? Any opinion, any idea? Or not yet? You are warming up, huh? Yeah. Well, one of the things is that so we are living in a very different situation, yeah? And technologies and geopolitical shifts are changing at a very rapid fast. No? Our industrial development report that was launched this year actually, Industrial Development Report 2024, it talks about polycrisis. Yeah? So we have a number of polycrises. We have geopolitical crisis, we have artificial intelligence, so we have a pace of technologies that are advancing at faster than companies can absorb. And that means, you know, always humanity, people say that we are just moving faster in history, but really now it's faster than every time in the past. And this is because many things are colliding, and this is something that is going to have a big impact in Indonesia, but also big impact in your careers. No? So when my father studied for a telephone company, and he worked there for more than 2 decades, 3 decades. So this is not something you are going to do. So you are going to have several different jobs in several different fields in several different companies. Right? So that means the education that you receive today, maybe in 2 years, is something that you have to upgrade, so continuously upgrade. And that's why everything is related, everything is integrated. In the past, so you used to say, oh, I like private sector, or I like the public sector, or I like to work in academia. But this is not anymore. More and more you have to integrate all these 3 fields. But this has a deep, profound implication, because that means you have to be ready to have a basic knowledge of many things. So in the past you said, oh, I will study economics. So there you are very comfortable with economics. Eh? Or I study engineering, so mechanical engineering. And then you can work 2 decades, 3 decades. No? Or you can say, well, I'm going to be an accountant. But this is not anymore. You know, many also careers are going to change and are going to maybe threatened by artificial intelligence as well. So you also have to prepare for the eventuality that artificial intelligence will replace what you do, and then you have quickly move to something else. So that means we have 2 important factors. The first is that there is no complete difference between public sector, private sector, and academia. The 3 are integrated. Yeah? And the second is that whatever you learn, you have to know more and more about economics, about engineering, about climate change, about technology, so all these things. So you can go or apply to a job or be in a conference and you say, oh, I don't understand about technologies. Because people will say, oh, this is not serious, right? So how do you do if you have to learn so many things? because there is no time, right? So you cannot have 6 careers. So it's something that you have to do all at once. Well, one of the things, and I remember many years ago when I studied, so a long time ago, because I've been around for a while, yeah? So we went to the library, got a book, and read a book one day, and then we learned something. So today we have enormous flows of information that you have to digest very fast. And then this is what is important now, so be able to discriminate what is important and what is not, but at the same time be updated with all the information that we have and prepare to have this expertise in several different areas. Yeah? As I said, economics, data analysis, engineering, and your own career, the career that you decide when you study your bachelor, when you got your bachelor degree. Yeah? And at the same time, so be aware of what are the new developments in public sector, in private sector, in the academia. So all this is now required from you. Nobody is going to ask you, and you cannot excuse that you don't know. Yeah? So that's a big challenge. Yeah? But one thing, and I'm going to explain also about this, is that Indonesia is very particular on this. It geopolitically has a big advantage. And the big advantage is that Indonesia is located in Southeast Asia. And many other regions are not going to grow. You know, China is slowing down a bit. South America, Latin America is too far. Africa has very specific context issues. But the region that is going to grow the fastest in the next 10, 20 years is probably going to be Southeast Asia. In Southeast Asia, so you have Indonesia. And Indonesia, it has to be leading not just at the economic level, but also at the geopolitical level. Yeah? So you have to be prepared, because that means also that responsibility for you is not just in the business or the job you will get. So probably many of you will be involved in the future with public sector, or you will be also part in academia. Yeah? So this is the world that you are going to face, and you are facing right now. Yeah? So this is my opinion, but what do you think? Do you agree with me? Yeah? You agree with me, so, or you disagree with me? Huh?
Some part I agree, but the other I think not really.
Yeah, I think for students we don't need the microphone. No, you can speak, so it has a good acoustics, this room. Yeah? Okay, go ahead.
For the statement, I think, yeah, for dominant, I agree, but some things for business, sometimes I think we don't really need to understand about other sectors. Yeah, maybe it's very fulfilled for us to build a business, but we know that when we are getting knowledge in business school, I think we get a lot of connections, and that's really important for us for building a business. And maybe the knowledge for like industry's policies or some things is just a little fulfill us for build a business, but it's just my opinion because I'm not in business right now. That's why it's just my POV. That's all.
Okay, any other ideas, please?
Maybe
No?
the other friend, you want to
ahead,
give
please.
up an opinion?
Huh?
Miss Kamiya, you want to say some things about him opinion? His.
Okay, let's
Oh, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, maybe we don't have to be expert in one field, I think, but we should know about the basic, like, for example, I want to learn deep about international business and international trade, something like that. I really interested in that subject, but we have to know about, for example, AI and then data analysis, something like that. So like we can expert in one subject, but we have to learn another subject, but not deep, but just know something like that. I think that's my opinion.
Okay, thank you. So we can build on that later, but let's start today. So I'm going to speak about industrial policies, a little bit about economic growth. We will refer to food security, and at the end, we're going to have a discussion about innovation ecosystems. Yeah? And I will say why this is important for you and why this is important for Indonesia as well. Yeah? So let me start. So this is green industrial policies. And I say green industrial policies because I'm from UNIDO. So UNIDO, international agency working on industrial policies. Industrial policy means that we focus on productive transformation. So it's manufacturing, it's services, also agriculture, everything that is that involves transformation, industrialization of countries. Yeah. Okay. So maybe I think you are familiar with this. You are familiar with the Malthusian trap, right? You are. What is the Malthusian trap? So everybody can say is that food population grows geometrically and food grows arithmetically. Yeah? So do you agree with this? If this happens today? Yes or not? Yes or not? Do you agree? Well, this, there is a debate. Is this still happen or is going to happen? But for a long time in humanity, productivity was extremely low and only start to increase from the 1800s with the Industrial Revolution. Yeah, when productivity increased, then this is first, it was in manufacturing. Yeah, but then this little by little, this involved all productive activities, including food production. But until that time, productivity was very low, and this rule, the Malthusian trap, was real, was actually a Malthusian trap. So there was not enough food to feed people. And that was for almost all humanity. But even very recently, so in the 20th century, many people emigrated because they didn't have enough food. And this happened in many of the countries that are quite wealthy today. I think including Indonesia. So Japan is an example. So there was not enough food. Many people emigrated to the US, to Hawaii, to Brazil, to Japan, because they think there is a better life there. There was not enough sugar. Meat was only once a year. My grandparents told me that they have meat only in New Year's Eve, only once in a year. And the rest almost rice. And so this was the standard for most of the countries until very recently. And so one of the things is that changed this is the productivity and the processing of different products. So let's talk about industrial policies. And probably you have an idea that industrial policies is on manufacturing. Yeah? This is the standard idea, manufacturing, robots, and all these things. But I want to ask you, what is this? This is not manufacturing, this is fishing, agriculture. Yeah? But then you have also agriculture. Yeah? So, but this is not agriculture. No? How do you define this? This is service or manufacturing. This is mostly manufacturing. Yeah. So you see, this is manufacture in a plant, yeah, and include packaging, certification, standards, and a number of activities. But something that you have to be aware is that the boundaries between manufacturing services is changing. Yeah? So it is more difficult to differentiate manufacturing from services, and both are more and more integrated. And one example is that when Apple designed the iPhone, they designed this and they send this to Taiwan, or they send this to China to assemble, to produce. So the manufacturing is taking place in another country, in China or in India now, or in Taiwan, but it's designed in the US. So there is a combination of service and manufacturing. So when you go to a restaurant, in the restaurant, so you have plates, so you have tables, you have a number of things, and the food, that many of this food came from processed food. And so that means manufacturing activity is everywhere. And until very recently I said 20 years ago, it was this belief that manufacturing is the center of everything, and everything around was just an accessory. But more and more we see a combination of agriculture, fishing, all productive sectors, plus manufacturing, plus services. And with artificial intelligence, as I'm going to describe in a case study of a real project implemented by UNIDO, you will see how this combination plays. Yeah? So let's talk about agriculture and technologies. Yeah? So do you know, have you heard about this expert? It's called Norman Borlaug. Have you heard about him? Huh? Okay, he got a Nobel Prize, and he is considered the father of the Green Revolution. So until very recently, I said the Malthusian trap was overcome 200 years ago, but that's not true. In many countries, in developing countries, there was not enough food. The main staple was wheat. You have Mexico, India, and Bangladesh. And he was a scientist who designed, by breeding different kind of wheat, he bred a specific type of wheat that produced more output. And it was more resistant to the climate, to rains and to hot weather. And he was able to triple and quadruple the production. So by this, he received a number of awards, but also the Nobel Prize. But what you see is the wheat yields in selected countries from 1950. He started working in Mexico. Then he moved to Pakistan and India. And you see how, by the wheat that he bred, the yield, the productivity increased in those countries. So this is called the Green Revolution. Yeah? But then something that we have, and I mentioned, that more and more in the agriculture sector, so you have tools from Frontier Technologies and AI that supports production and different activities. And this is an example that in any manufacturing factory, so you have AI or Frontier Technologies that supports automation and robotics, energy management, maintenance, smart maintenance, and production optimization, etc. From the manufacturing production point of view, the AI is like an instrument that allows to predict what the system is going. and what will happen. So the AI can tell you how much energy is consuming the process and what are the areas or the specific process where the energy can be reduced, and then you can reallocate the energy based on the analysis that the system is providing you. This is more and more the standards in companies, in factories in the world. Yeah? So if you work in a factory, this is one of the first things that you will be asked to implement and apply AI, big data, robotics, and make an analysis of the resources that you have to increase the efficiency of the productivity. But in the agriculture, since we are talking about food security, so you also have now a combination of different technologies. So you have sensors, drones, applied to agriculture, and then you know how much water to use for irrigation. You also know about the moisture. You have a sensor station monitoring the moisture of the fields. And then you have a center with computers telling you what is the health of the field, and you can apply, you can do different activities based on the data you are receiving. And most of these has smartphones. Yeah? This is not just a stream adopted by many sectors in Indonesia, but it's something that it will be done very soon. It's already there, but not necessarily at the speed that other developing countries are doing. This is another example of productivity in agriculture that has to do with genetic modification, and also is related with AI. So artificial intelligence is at the center of all these technologies. When UNIDO started researching the application of technologies in productive activities in factories and in agriculture and in other sectors, in fishing, in blue economy, in 2011, there was something called Industry 4.0 that was created in Germany. And that was mostly applied to the car sector, to the car makers. And Industry 4.0 was a combination of different frontier technologies like big data, like at that time also artificial intelligence, robotics. But this now, since 2022, right, ChatGPT. So this changed completely the game, because now ChatGPT has become the most important frontier technology of all. And this is something we still don't know what will be the projection of this or the future developments. Yeah? But this is something also you are obliged to learn and have your own conclusions. Yeah? So some examples of application of AI in some global companies is Nestlé uses AI for, Nestlé, right? Nestlé that produce milk and then sweet milk and different products, canned products. So AI is used in all the production system. So you have BB Cola also using ChatGPT to monitor low sugar vegan beverage. You have Climate Food, and etc. So there are number of examples everywhere in the world. But I want to describe one case that we implemented at UNIDO in Namibia, where we integrated different elements. And you think about, when I describe this, you think about that, or you can imagine that in the near future, you will be working in a company, and you have a case studies. So I think that you use case studies in business school. You use case studies, right? So the case study in Namibia is a country in Africa, in the western side of Africa. The main problem was that they have these invasive bushes. I don't know if you have this in Indonesia. So bushes that invade and grow very fast, and you can control this. And usually these bushes have thorns. So it's not easy to cut. Yeah? Once this starts growing, you cannot stop, and it's very difficult to get rid of. So the case study was how to prevent this, what to do. And then we requested technical cooperation to the Finland, to the government in Finland, if they can help Namibia with this major issue that is affecting the productivity of households in Namibia. And we designed a project, and the project was called this bush invasive case in Namibia. So in Namibia, you have these are real pictures. So you have intense cattle and crop farming. So cattle is same time cattle is being fed by the bushes, by the trees, and the project was to reduce and to contain the bushes. Yeah? So maybe I can ask you, how will you contain this kind of invasive bushes? Suppose you are hired by a company that is working in the countryside in Indonesia. What are the ideas? How you will contain this? Any idea? Yeah? Okay. Don't be shy, because you have to break the rule of, yeah. You have to show up. Or maybe just it's difficult to figure out, right? How you contain this. Yeah? But this is a problem in Indonesia as well. It's a big problem, how to contain these invasive bushes. It's everywhere, and in some places, more tropical, so it's a big problem. And so it's something that continuously, Ministry of Agriculture has also a department dealing with this to support smallholder agriculture in order to prevent this and increase the productivity of the agriculture sector. Yeah. Well, the project we designed with the Finland cooperation includes a combination of big data, then recycling, and then use the bushes to produce food for the cattle. Yeah? So let me describe this. Yeah? Because this is like a case study. You just imagine that you are doing this case study. Yeah? Okay, something that we did in the project is that there was like a standard system to produce animal feed, but you see in the back of this building, almost a building, this was the typical standard animal feed unit. With this project, the small system was designed, funded by Finland, and then outsourced, so done with local producers in Namibia. So we brought producers and technologies and ideas from Europe, and we produced this small feed processing unit in Namibia. Yeah? And this is to process the invasive bushes that was cut. So they were brought to these small units and converted into animal feed. Yeah? So this is the processing unit that is zero emission, and then use a number of sustainability principles in order to produce this animal feed. Yeah? The briquettes and also different products, like in this case also briquettes for cooking.
So yeah? This is the raw material from the bushes?
Yes, from the bushes. Yeah? Yeah? But this is an example of the bush feed, so the ration. Yeah? In a count, no? In a count, a ratio of 370 kilograms, because also these cows, the cattle, they didn't have much food, and they were not able to to eat the bushes, because they have thorns. Yeah? Yeah? So once it was processed, so this is the cow before having this ration of this food produced by the project. And then the cow was, of course, fatter. Yeah? Well, no much difference in the picture, but actually, yes. Yeah? So what is the principle here? So the principle is that you have a problem, and the case study is what to do with these bushes. And then you can just burn them. So many countries in cities in Africa, they burn the bushes, but then they contaminate and pollute the cities, and they are just wasting a potential source of feed for the animals, something that you can use in something else. Yeah? So the principles applied to this is that first, looking for a way to organize a circular economy. Yeah? So you have the waste, but how you can use this and reuse, in what ways you can take advantage of these bushes. So that's the first, circular economy. So the second is you have cattle, and cattle are providing meal and meat to the people that live in the area. So what to do? So with processing the bushes, so the project was able to provide food for the cattle. So increase the productivity of the milk and the cattle as well. So that's another principle that you can scale up the intervention. Yeah? And the third is that by containing these invasive bushes, so the farmers have more land, and so they can expand this. Yeah? So then going to business, so since you are studying business, yeah? This project cost, the budget was around 1.5 million euros, 1.5 million, so almost $2 million. But the benefit was more than 20 times, because once the project was piloted in one side, it was replicated in some other sites. Now there are a couple of development banks, the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, who is interested to scale up this project in some other countries. And this can be also scaled up in Indonesia. Yeah? So at the end of this conversation, so I'm going to explain about innovation ecosystem and some ideas that we can take from this. Yeah? Do you have any comment at this point?
Is it free distributed to the farmers, or they have to buy the pellet?
No, this is not free. It's sold. Yes, but the technical cooperation is a grant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the project is implementing and.
Even to the private companies.
Yes.
And
Yes.
the private companies.
And the private companies produce. Yeah, because that's another principle of development cooperation, is that if you can produce locally, you don't need to import. No, you try to avoid that you have to import and paying a high price for something. So
the raw material is abundant and it's available.
yes, the raw material is the bushes. Yeah, this is the main raw material. So that means it's possible to contain bushes, but also to use this, recycle, and produce food, and use it in some other ways. Okay? Then, so the farmers are not burning this anymore, and they have a higher income, and you have a circular economy. Yeah? So think about, and you can find more details about this project in UNIDO webpage in the project. So you find project in Namibia, you will find this. Yeah? So that means this is an industrial policy at the macro level. But if you want ideas and you have a case where you have to provide an answer, then you have to look for places where you will find innovative ideas. One of the places is, in this case, maybe the web page of UNIDO with all the projects that we have and different solutions for different problems in different contexts, in different cities, and different countries. Yeah? So besides your textbooks on business, so you can also take a look to this and have an innovation and have an inspiration that you can put together, and then your boss will say, oh, that's very smart, eh? That's very smart. Yeah? Yeah.
I'm interested in the process of how you did the project, like the idea generation and how you did the research until you find out how to create the palette from the bush. Did you have a collaboration with researchers over there, or was it all in the work of UNIDO? And how long did the process take until you get the end result that the cattle could feed very well on this palette? Could you share about it?
Okay. Usually, a project for United Nations, so UNIDO, is requested by member states. So they identify a problem, they have an issue, a challenge, and they call UNIDO and they say, oh, we would like to solve this problem. We have this problem. And then we look for a donor. And the donor can be from a European Union or Sweden or Japan or Germany, all donor countries. No? And we ask them if they are interested to do this project, if they are interested, if they can address this issue. And once we have the funding, because the donor provide the funding, then we assemble an international expert. If we need international expertise, we assemble a team of people who know about this. So who knows about the processing of the bushes, who know about agriculture, who knows about big data and artificial intelligence. Because something I haven't described is that these projects also use artificial intelligence to identify the bushes. So maybe I can show you here. Yeah. So there was a system designed, an interactive system to identify where the bushes are growing, and for this we use drones. Yeah, and we also found a company that was working in these technologies. Now there are several companies, but this was a company that was able to do it as a right cost, because some of them are also very expensive. Yeah? And then we have with the drones, we have the satellite image, and the system with artificial intelligence did the analysis of where are growing the bushes and potentially growth. Yeah? So, and these are examples of the analysis. So where is the grass, the pond, the road, and where are the trees, etc. And this is just all the computation and the analysis. Yeah? And this is an analysis also on the biomass capacity of a bush. So it's a bush, how the bush can be used in different ways. Maybe there are some other applications. Yeah? And how to convert this into a commercial value. Yeah? So this is the program and the project in Namibia, and the program, augmented reality, using the data provided by the mobile devices. Yeah? So the farmers also have a cell phone accessing the data. So what you see is that agriculture is not just agriculture. So it's manufacturing, it's technologies, it's artificial intelligence, it's many things. Yeah? But so I'm telling you that you have to learn all this, but don't be nervous. This is something that you just be prepared, because all this and the best way you package this, your idea, it will be the factor for success in the projects that you will do in the future. Yeah? Okay, questions at this point? comments, please.
Thank you for the opportunity. Oh, I will introduce myself. My name is Hasbi. I'm from R72. Before I want to ask question and discussion, I want to maybe say sorry first for my bad in English. I'm not fluent in English. I hope you understand what I mean. I want to ask you about the topic, but of this topic, but in general topic. Maybe when you say before technology, AI or something like that has a good impact for the productivity, efficiency, and etc. But I want to discussion about you. How about the other perspective? My perspective is about the perspective in employee. I said when the industry is grow up and with the technology, high technology, especially in reality, so many in manufacturing, especially many company lay off the employee because she don't need too much employee. So the problem is in Indonesia, especially in Indonesia, in my experience, Indonesia has a big geological and big demand of the employee too. The problem is the job is limited and the demand of the employee is still increase. And I want to ask you about this question. What do you think about this, and what is solution for the employee, or especially for graduate, for especially like me, to serve for the job or to survive for the next future thing? Maybe just that. Thank you.
Well, thank you. This is a very deep issue, and I don't have an answer. I don't think anybody has an answer on the issue of if these technologies will displace workers and make different fields just will be replaced by a machine. Yeah, this is something we don't know. But you know, then what you have to do, so there are two answers to this question. The first is the question that is the answer that is more personal. If there is nothing you can do regarding this because you don't know, then it's beyond your control. And if this beyond your control, you don't worry too much, right? Because there's nothing you can do. So you don't know. Maybe in 5 years, what you are doing will be replaced by a machine. But in 5 years, so you prepare for this. But anything that is beyond your control is beyond your decision making. So you just be alert and preparing for that, but not much to do, right? Okay, so this is from the personal perspective, career perspective, and position in a job. But then, if the discussion is about artificial intelligence displacing specific jobs, specific areas, all this is going to come. So, you know, maybe some of you are working on translation, so maybe, I don't know. But you know that very soon, this will be done at the very high level by a machine. So starting today, studying translation, maybe it's not a good idea. Yeah? So, and if you study translation, you have to do something that it has a value added. I don't think a writer can be easily replaced. Yeah? But translation is something that probably can be replaced. Another thing that can be replaced is radiologists, yeah? That those doctors that examine X-ray. Now there are a number of studies showing that these AI machines can identify tumors or can identify something strange better than a human being. But you still need a doctor to discriminate if this is certain or not. Yeah? Doesn't mean that if you are interested in medicine or you want to be a doctor, you say no, because AI is going to replace me. Right? It depends on your strategy. So it's a balance between what you can control, anything that you have the control, with also acknowledging what is happening with the technology that is in place, right? So.
Maybe I have a few comments on this question regarding AI and unemployment. There is a very interesting book called Bullshit Job. So the sociologist looked at the working hour of human being across history, and he realized that 100 years ago, we work 8 hours a day. Now we still work 8 hours a day, but we are more productive than 100 years ago. So why are we still working 8 hours a day? So he says that his point of view is most of the jobs that people do are called bullshit job. It's not creative, it's not meaningful, you're not producing anything, you're just sitting in the office. So probably for the 8 hours a day, the most productive hour are 3 hours, where you really try to think hard, write down something, and propose your plan. The remaining 5 hours, you are sitting in the meeting, you are talking to your boss, you are waiting in the office for the work to end, to go home. So this interesting thing is that there are so many tools that are helping us to be more productive, but sometimes we didn't realize it. With the help of ChatGPT, we used to spend 3 minutes drafting a very polite email to your client. Now, if you write it with ChatGPT, it is done in 10 seconds. So does that mean that we don't need office worker to manage the client relation? Not really. With the help of ChatGPT, you write emails 10 times faster than before. So you have time and effort to do other creative stuff. Before Gojek was invented, how do you go out? You take Ojek, you ride your own motorbike, or you try to find some taxi in the city. Does the invention of Gojek endangered driver? No, because they have a new option to get clients on the Gojek platform. So it makes everyone's life easier and faster. So it also creates more job opportunity, and it makes employment as a taxi driver more flexible. Now everyone can be a taxi driver. So I believe that AI is a great opportunity for us to be more creative, because it saves us from all the repetitive and meaningless part of work that we used to do. So that's my perspective.
Okay, more comments?
Talking about ChatGPT and AI or the other, we know in Indonesia there are a viral statement from Miss Stella. She said about ChatGPT, we know that ChatGPT can help us for more productive and efficiently, but we cannot always rely on ChatGPT. It's because, there's a lot of problem in ChatGPT. When we ask some things and we want to say, when we want to know some things, ChatGPT is not really perfect. And when we say something and we get the answers, but we cannot make it the difference between the wrong and the right, because we always rely on the ChatGPT. But the other side, we cannot deny that we are always using ChatGPT especially for our examinations maybe or some things. But the statement of Stella, I think it's really interesting. It's because almost in the world, people using ChatGPT and then rely on the answer of ChatGPT. And we cannot really make it the difference between wrong and right, because we always believe on ChatGPT. That's why I think even AI is very being solution for us, but the other side, if we always rely on the technology, especially like AI or ChatGPT like that, I think it will, at the end of the day, it will make us never being critical again. because in knowledge or educations, I think the important is not just on you finish your work, but it's on you can improve your brains. I mean, that's why I think there are some problem for ChatGPT. Thanks.
Okay, I'm talking about augmented reality AR. So in Indonesia, we know AR is as full green for industry because this technology help optimize processes, reduce waste, and increase efficiency and super sustainability. Now, as we know, many farmers in Indonesia are old. Now, how can we teach AR to Indonesian farmers so that they can be more efficient in their agricultural production? Thank you.
Okay, so I would like to ask you about, is there a minimum area of agricultural land that is effective for implementing technologies such as AR? As we know and as we have learned, the use of technology like this really helps for agricultural operation, but the problem in Indonesia is that individual land area are not very large. So they still prefer to use traditional methods of control. For control, they always, or maybe they prefer to use traditional method. I wonder if you have a solution for this. Thank you.
Okay, I really interesting with the process of from the bush to the pellet. So is there the process is just a bush to pellet, or is there any additional ingredients like something? That's it. Like for example, like the bush from the bush, and then the pellet become a pellet, or is there any additional ingredient to the bush to become a pellet, something like that?
Yeah, I can start with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is an industrial process, and the box that I show is the processing unit. So you insert the, of course you have to, there is a machine that convert this into a powder, and then put into the machine, into the box, and converts into a pellet. Yeah, I mean the main innovation here is that it is 1/10 of the size of what is previously used. That is, it is not also, you cannot transport this.
So
Yeah.
it's just a bush?
Yes, it's just a bush.
For like in Indonesia, because I have a business in countryside in rural areas, like on 150 kilometers from here in Banten. So like I live in rural areas for a long time like that, and the people like the bush is just they cut it, and then they give it to the goat, the goat like that. The people's feeding them, and then like I think like what for the if it's implemented in Indonesia, like what for it? It's just a bush like that. For example, like we don't have to, for example, process it into the pellet, something like that. Because like people like just cut it and then give it to the goat, something like that. If just a bush.
Yeah, that's why we have, when we have a challenge or a case, we have to find the team that provides an answer to this. Yeah? So I'm not expert on agriculture, but I can show you if you have this, if you're facing this, so I can connect with the projects and the company that designed this solution. Yeah? So not everything comes from your head. So when we have this challenge in Namibia, so we assemble a team of specialists from different areas, agriculture, engineering, artificial intelligence. They put together to design this project. So this is the design part. Then in Indonesia, it will be difficult from place to place, and the bush is not the same, right? And also the box to process this will be also different. So you have to adapt it to the context. Yeah? Yeah, thank you. Both are related, the answer for both. In Indonesia, almost 95% of the companies are micro and small and medium enterprises. Yeah? And those are the companies that provide most of the jobs. And this is part of actually the policy of new President Prabowo to, I will say, protect, to have this sector, because it's important for job creation. One of the things is that these small farmers or small producers, they don't have the capacity, the financial capacity to hire an expensive consultant and do something that then everybody will use, right? So there is something that is called the common pool. And so nobody is going to invest on something that later everybody will adopt. And so this is the case where the government has to come in. And the government has different programs. And this is everywhere. So the government provides consultants or provide technical cooperation to the smallholders in order to improve the productivity. And when they do this, they are not just working with one smallholder or a small farmer, so they work with an association or with a cooperative. Something we notice in Indonesia is that not only in the agriculture, but in the fishing sector, there are very, very small holders, sometimes families. Yeah, they in Lombok, in Bali, so we have a project. So they have a small boat, and it's very small scale. Or sometimes there are 3 families, they work together, and they sell this to the market. So how do you do? If you can say, well, let's put all this together and then create a big company or big cooperative, but it doesn't work in that way, because also the country has to be aware of monopolies or oligopolies, right? So that's something that has to be synchronized according to the context. It depends. So in order to design a policy for these smallholders in fishing and in agriculture, first, you have to conduct an assessment and then find a way how to help them to provide the right technologies. One of the ways to do, and there are examples from other places in Southeast Asia, is phone applications. Phone applications, smartphones, where in the fishing you can find where are the catching size. No? In agriculture, it's the same. For this, you need also an ecosystem of technologies, so you need good connectivity, and you need good applications that make this possible. We will discuss a little bit more in a second. Yeah? So how much time we have? How much time we have?
We have 30 minutes.
Yeah, yes. Okay.
3 minutes.
Okay, yes. Okay, any comment to this? Is fine? So you just hold on these questions, yeah? That we will have more ideas. Yeah? Okay, so if you want to know more about ending hunger or food production, so you can find this report on the website that were prepared with FAO. FAO is the Food and Agriculture Organization Agency, FAO, from the United Nations, and we work together in different areas, so including food value chain and also food policies. Yeah, but I want to do a detour and talk a little bit about economic growth, because that's something also important for you. You know, the government has this goal it's called Golden Indonesia. In 2045, so Indonesia should be high-income country, right? You heard about this is Bapenas, has this plan, long-term plan, and in order to do this, what is needed is to increase the productivity of productive sector. So, because who is the main units that increase productivity? So all value production is produced by private sector. Private sector is absolutely key and is the main agent to produce and increase productivity. And the public sector helps with the business environment, but it's the private sector who provides all this. So if you work for private sector, so you are responsible to increase the productivity of your area by designing new products, by designing new services, and increase the productivity of your company and then of the industrial sector. So this is the main objective and challenge in the next years for Indonesia, to increase the productivity of the main sectors. Now, Bapena has identified some of the areas where this is more feasible. And the areas are the blue economy, so with marine products, fishing, seaweed, shrimp, all these areas, they have a lot of space to increase productivity. But there is also a space in manufacturing. So there's a lot of activities like manufacturing that are not necessarily productive and has a lot of space to increase the productivity, especially lighter manufacturing in small and medium enterprises. So you work with one of them, so this will be also your main role. Yeah. So I'm not going to talk about the middle income trap. That is an issue of a country that grows, and when they are middle income, they stay there forever, and they don't know how to become high income. So this is an issue that has been around for the last 20 years, and this is something that Indonesia wants to avoid. The government wants to avoid that Indonesia is trapped in the middle income trap. And for this, they are designing policies to increase productivity in different sectors. Yeah. In order to reach this high income status, so Indonesia will need to grow not just at 5%, which has been the average in the last years, but will have to increase to 6 or 7%. Yeah? Even President Prabowo has said that Indonesia should grow at 8%. But this is not just a question of number. It's very difficult to jump from 5 to 6 and to 6 for 7. It's very difficult because this depends on a number of issues, and also growth has to be sustained. So you know, if growth, there is a major financial crisis in the world, it's going to impact Indonesia. If there is a major natural issue or tsunamis, so this is also is going to impact in productivity. So everything is going to impact into productivity. So that's something that also will impact in the sector where you will work. But something that I just want to show is that productivity is low in agriculture. Productivity, as you see, especially in low-income countries, total factor productivity in agriculture is low because they don't have the right technologies, or they don't know how to absorb the technologies that is available in high-income countries, and this is one of the main issues. So you will also have to design solutions to increase the productivity in agriculture sector for food processing if you are working there. Yeah? But still, an important concept, it is something that at UNIDO we defend, is the importance of the processing, the manufacturing, what we discussed at the beginning of this talk. And that's something that more and more you will also have to consider. Yeah? To increase, the manufacturing is the main center for producing jobs, and also to process agriculture or raw materials and produce this with value added. Let me just, because we don't have much time, and I want to discuss with you innovation ecosystem. And I will tell you why this is relevant. Do you know, can you define what is an innovation ecosystem? Or can you tell me, just from your head, what this is important? Why innovation ecosystem is important, and what is an innovation ecosystem? So you just give me some ideas. Startups and entrepreneurship. Yeah. Let me explain why I want to discuss innovation ecosystems with you. Yeah? One of the things is that in high-income countries, you have a complete innovation ecosystem. But when we come to developing countries, we don't have, this is incomplete. So there are many things that you want to do, but you don't have the complete pieces. And this has a big implication for your company or for your career as well. And when we said innovation ecosystem is all this combination of basic science, yeah, research and development, startup and entrepreneurship, and scaling up of SMEs. Something that in developing countries we don't have is basic science. And there is a specific reason for this. Basic science is not done everywhere. It's very expensive. So who is, for example, now researching on nuclear technologies? So you have 1 or 2 or 3 universities in the world. So maybe in France, in the US, maybe in Germany. No, not Germany, France, China. Yeah, you have this. But this is basic science that not necessarily has an application in the market. It's just basic science because there are scientists who is investigating very specific issues on physics, and then they produce a paper and they do these experiments, but not necessarily this is something that is sold in the market. Yeah? So universities in developing countries don't have these resources because this is extremely expensive, and not necessarily it's a good investment for universities as well, right? So, so what is the solution for this? If you don't have basic science, is that you establish a network and you know who is the university that is really has the frontier technologies and research on this basic science. So if you are a university like Bogor, this university, Bogor is known for agriculture, right? Is it true? Agriculture, and specifically for Indonesia. So you have a lot of resources to do this, but not necessarily in nanotechnology or AI. So not necessarily a university in Indonesia is doing this, and maybe not in the region, maybe not in Southeast Asia. So this is beyond the means or the capacity of universities to have this. And also won't be efficient to have 10 universities in the world working on these areas. No? Usually you have 1 or 2. So the importance of this is that you complete the innovation ecosystem, the basic science part that you don't have, by establishing these links or networks with these universities. And this is one of the roles that UNIDO also plays, is to facilitate the knowledge exchange and who is doing this, who needs, and then putting together. Yeah. So if you work in a specific area, let's say fishing, so you need to know who has the most advanced technologies, who is producing the machinery in this area. And you have to identify the university, contact them, and then establish a relationship. Then you complete your innovation ecosystem. Basic science, as I said, doesn't have an immediate commercial value. It's just a scientific advance or discovery. But then research and development is usually done by Faculty of Engineering. Yeah? I'm talking very basic. I know you are familiar with all this. Yeah? But then Faculty of Engineering produce this research and development, and then maybe mostly from business school, business school manage MBAs with engineers, so they take this into the market. So, and this is the research and development part. Then it comes the startups and entrepreneurship that is mostly coming with new areas, AI, application of new application for agriculture, new application for engineering. So this is done by startups and entrepreneurship, and then this is used by small and medium enterprises to scale up. So this is the complete innovation ecosystem. So you have this in some countries, so you have in Silicon Valley, you have this in the eastern part of the US, you have this in Israel, in Singapore, and in some other countries, in Tsukuba in Japan, and in China you have this in many cities, but not necessarily you have this, not necessarily in all these places, this innovation ecosystem is complete. So there are two implications of this, is you are in an environment that has an incomplete innovation ecosystem, is that you have to find who is doing what, how much will cost to access that technology, and how to establish a relationship. Then you can provide a good solution for any challenge or a business solution. Yeah? So this is the implication of this. And the second is that you have to be aware of what is the pieces that you have to put together and what is needed, and then allows your business or your idea to take this to the market and be successful. So this is why this innovation ecosystem is something that you always have to be aware if you want to succeed with your business plan and with your proposal. I have several more topics to discuss, but I think I would like to have your ideas on this. So is it possible to overcome innovation ecosystem when you don't have all the pieces? How do you do? How will you do? I think there are a number of programs that are actually in that direction, and the purpose of those programs is actually to strengthen this innovation ecosystem. I mean, this is something that it has to be done in all developing countries, but particularly in Indonesia, to strengthen the productivity of these sectors. And that's something I think is advancing, is something that is visible.
Yes.
Yeah?
And IPB's researcher is, I think, top 5 in terms of the recipient of the program and IPB University.
Yes, yes.
And also I think in School of Business, there are 2 professors who have this project.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Professor. Any ideas on this? Comments? Yeah, let me go to the next slide. We can have a reflection. Eh? You want to say something?
Okay, maybe I want give my opinion. Maybe I have some same opinion with Prof. Ujang, but maybe I will add some opinion for me. Basically, can back to the last. Okay, maybe I want to give my opinions before for basic science. Yeah. If you want to make a innovation ecosystem for me. You have make a ecosystem with the multi academic program like maybe engineer, business, and etc. Have include in some case. Actually, I think maybe the academic ecosystem have to learn about the some case who have give impact to the real impact for the some case, especially like have product have connect with research and development. So we have a connect academic in company. So academic have knowledge. What will I say? Specific, not just the theoretical, just have practical too, and have impact to the real company. So it have some advantages on a company and academic. So maybe I think we have to connect the academic and the company to have more productivity, I think. Like this, I think.
Yes, this is what Professor described. This is the link between academy and private sector. Yeah? But now you are studying at the university, and I assure you that tomorrow when you're working in a company, you are going to complain, oh, I need the students, yeah, that need more preparation in this area. So this is always going to happen. Even in Silicon Valley, so the companies complain that universities are not producing what they need. And this is because the speed of training and research at universities is different to private sector. Yeah? And this is an issue that you are going to find everywhere. It's not just in Indonesia. And in the US, you know, it's typically all private sector, they always complain. But this doesn't mean that the system is not there. But the more they can cooperate, the better. Yeah? So I want to finish with the final slide, that when we have discussed about this food security, talk about industrial policies, there's a lot to say also about energy, but we haven't discussed much, we haven't covered this today. So we want to do this, we wanted to do this more broadly. Yeah? But some of the things is that in the past, very recently, sustainability, circular economy, all this was not part of the business, but now more and more is part of the business, and you have to take this into account. Now, it was considered, and it was true, that incorporating circular economy or recycling and all this was expensive for business. Yeah, it's actually expensive. But now you have to design this in a way that maybe it's a business opportunity. And this is what, when we design our projects, we try to do. So it is not that we design a very expensive solution for a small and medium enterprise that is not able to fund. This is something that also you will face, because when you bring this product to the market is going to demand that you are complaining, that you are meeting the requirement for sustainability, for standards, for certifications, and all this you are going to incorporate into your product. So that's something you have to do. Now, more and more there are solutions that incorporate these sustainability factors into the product. Yeah? So it shouldn't be like a burden, it should be an opportunity for you to design something new. So when I describe the case study in Namibia, it's just one of several different case studies that you can come with a creative solution for a product or for a challenge that you are facing in the community or in the country or in your company. Yeah? So this is the message that I just wanted to share with you. Well, we have at UNIDO, we have a large program on circular economy, a global program. And this can be at different levels. Examples, I think in Indonesia, this is advancing and being more and more. Yeah, I cannot speak of specific examples, but the industry is consciously adopting circular economy principles. So there is a switch made, funded by European Union, for example, yeah, on circular economy. So there are circular economy solutions at the factory level, but also at the city level, and nature-based solutions. So this is also circular economy. And we also have industrial parks. We have 5 eco-industrial parks where we implement these circular economy solutions, and we try to do this at the community city level. So that's also an example. But I think this is a good idea that maybe in the future we can have just a dedicated discussion, a conversation with students on circular economy solutions. So we have a lot of expertise that we can share, yeah? And we can bring experts from different projects to discuss this, because this is something is going to be with you in the next years. It's something that you also have to know very well in order to implement into your projects.
Thank you.
Do you have any question? Yeah.
Maybe this question is about pellet bushes. If this product is commercial in Indonesia and the government can be collaborate to elaborate to the farmer using this product, could or should this product can be the supplement or must be the main product that should cause it like that. If this product can be supplement, then government can give this product free to the farmer, that can increase the weight of the cost and can increase the price of this meat.
Yes.
So the question is, how can this product is used be the supplement of main food can be?
You mean how the project can be scaled up and adopted by a large number of farmers? Hmm? Well, this also, if you have already all the projects that UNIDO implements are pilots. By definition, are pilots. So pilots means that sometimes are successful, sometimes is okay. Yeah, but when you have a successful project, so the idea is that these pilot projects can be scaled up into something else. Yeah? And then give it to the governments, and government can say, oh, this is interesting, so let's go to invest on this, and let's do it. And so that's the process and the mechanics of a pilot project implemented by United Nations. Yeah? So if the government adopts, is in the future you work for private sector, so you can say, oh, this is something I would like to do. I would like to produce these recycling units, and maybe that's something that is profitable. Or if you work with the government, you say, oh, I heard about this interesting project that was done by UNIDO, so we can implement this in Sulawesi, right? So this is the mechanics of a pilot project by UNIDO. Go ahead.
Okay, so actually this question, it's in my head for a long time. So like our rice is and our food is from rural areas or countryside, but why most hunger around the world happen in rural areas? That's it, my question.
I don't have the answer. Can somebody answer this? So it's very specific. Why this happened?
I don't know, maybe the process of supply chain or something.
Okay, I just have something that I can tell you, is that we as a humanity, we are supposed to overcome the Malthusian trap, right? But some of the things, if you go back to the report that I mentioned with UNIDO FAO, is that in many places, 50% of agriculture products are wasted because there are not fridge, conservation facilities. Just by doing this, you can have double of agriculture products, and you can take this into the market. But same happened with fishing products, or some other agriculture products. So that means agriculture is not just what is harvest in a field, it's also the conservation and the processing. So all this is part of the value chain of the agriculture products. Yeah? So to increase and to keep the productivity of agriculture products, so you need a whole value chain. So that's why I think the agriculture is more and more also a manufacturing process that requires a lot of analysis, data, machinery, engineering in order to make it more productive. And this is the essence of when the new president, Prabowo, is saying, let's increase the productivity. He's referring to using all these technologies to increase this and take this to another level. Okay, I just curious before I finish, what are the areas where you will work? So you already have identified an area, a sector, so can you tell me just to have an idea? Maybe you can facilitate this just to know.
Okay. I can start. I graduated from a master's program of urban planning and governance. But then, when we talk about urban planning and governance, it's like everything about cities, because you have like transportation, you have housing, you have environment. We live in cities. Jakarta is like big. Bogor is also like quite close to this metropolitan area. But when we talk about this, there are a lot of like subsectors, sub-areas. I personally, I was interested in community planning or community engagement, which is more about like, let's say I live in one town, and then how do I interact with other residents of the town, because I grew up in Guangzhou. Guangzhou is a southern city in China, and then we have a lot of like populations. My family is quite middle income. So they have like very good positions in their working places. Well, but then we also have like renters, immigrants. My parents immigrated from northern China to southern China, so they are also immigrants. But then we also have like locals, because I see that sometimes my classmates are like pretty rich, right? And then I'm like they already have a lot of like local resources. Their families already work in a lot of like, I guess it's all the same like in Indonesia as a society. But then like I chose to be here, learning more about industrial policies, because I feel like, when we talk about cities, when we talk about community development, when we talk about how to encourage the economic development of this area, policies sometimes constrain a lot. It can encourage, it can incentivize the development of certain industries here. Like if you're interested in food, if you want to, let's say, because I was thinking about your question, right? Like why hunger always happens in rural areas? Probably it's a problem of the supply chain, lack of supply chain, or like some obstacles there. But then like, so now I'm like here learning and trying to observe what is it like in the Indonesian cities, and like what are the problems there, what I can do as an individual to sometimes observing is also a way forward. Because as an individual, probably I cannot do much because we always say that, the money is in the hands of the rich. And then I'm a foreigner in this country, what I can do, right? But sometimes, seeing the problems and then like, okay, I think about what can different people, different stakeholders in the area do. I'm not a local person, but I see that, okay, people are performing different roles in this area. Like you have businessmen, you have teachers, you have students, you have like renters in the area, you have like outcomers, incomers, a lot of people. Then I think about what they can do, and I try to talk to people and understand what they're thinking about, and then try to have a resolution together, just. So that's my position, and then I try to share this with you. But yeah, because I mean, I thought about making money, right? Like sometimes, like I have this stereotypes of businessman. I'm like, businessman is all about like trying to make profits. I don't know if you can tell me, maybe I'm wrong. Like, yeah. So, and I'm also interested in like what you are all interested to do in the future. Yeah. Anyone?
We have to be finishing soon, so we have 5 minutes, right? But please be in touch with UNIDO. If you are interested in UNIDO, so you just contact us. Potentially, we also have internship programs. So you are interested, so we can just facilitate that. So I'll be, as a representative, I'll be very happy to have a student from Bogor, from business school, for a short period of time, working with us in Jakarta. Yeah, so you consider this. So remember, in the future, all this applies. The things I said applies to you on learning many things, but also maybe you will be in many countries also. So who knows? Yeah. So be open to all these experiences, and then. So let me tell you also, though, despite in the beginning it looks like you're shy, a little bit shy, so you all spoke, and this was very interesting also for me to learn your opinions, and it was a very interesting experience. Yeah? So thank you very much.